y'all, it is Crafty Hope here, and welcome to day 6 of my index card a day, um, challenge, video series. This is ICAD 2021, and I'm working with two sets of prompts, which are the Daisy Yellow ones from Tammy Garcia, as well as the mixed media ICAD prompts from Nina Fickett. On this day, the Daisy Yellow prompt was canoe or kayak, and the mixed media prompt was white. Now, I was not keen on the Daisy Yellow one. I love canoes and kayaks. I am a water girl, but I just couldn't come up with anything that was in the craft room that would work in an ICAD for that. So, later on, I had some ideas once I saw what other people had done. But at the time, I did not. I knew that white would be easy enough because I could just use some white paint. So I knew that the mixed media prompt would be all right. So I'm kind of rolling with that as always, or as usual, I guess. Not always, but most of the time, I tend to start with collage. That gives me keeps my hand busy while I'm thinking about what next steps I want to do. It gets me past that fear of the blank page, and it gives the background some texture and I don't know, just gives me a start. So I'm using some scraps out of my little scrap box and my Oohoo glue stick and just going straight on to this little onto this 3x5 index card because that is the whole point of ICAD. If you want to learn more about ICAD, I encourage you to go to Tammy's site, which is, I believe it's daisyyellow.com. But if you look up Tammy, Tammmy, um, and Daisy Yellow, you'll find it. You can also find her as Gypsy999 on Instagram. All right, so and she has on her website has all the information about ICAD, because she's the originator. Now this piece I'm putting down, I had cut out a couple hearts onto it. I don't know if you can see it at all, but there's a heart there, and that'll come into play later in this because that texture of that heart really shows up. I'm trying to put lots of texture on here. So the next thing I'm going to put is this, some kind of drywall joint tape, I think is what it's called. And it's adhesive. So I peeled off the back and I am sticking the adhesive part down. But then the unsticky portion, I'm also going to use my glue stick and go ahead and stick down. Part of this I knew I was doing, probably looking back at it. I really was hoping to get these voiceovers done in a faster manner, so I knew what my intentions were with each of these. But y'all, you know how life gets in the way and things kind of get away from you, and that's exactly what has happened with these iCads. So I'm trying to release them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we'll see. It's one of those other things that just may get away from me. All right, so I think my intention when I was doing this was to add lots of texture because I wanted to do something along the lines of what Lisa Goddard does with a lot of her stuff, which is to put down lots of texture and then add a bunch of gesso and or white paint. I think she uses gesso most of the time. And then some other bright colors. I was thinking that's what I was going to do. It didn't come off exactly as awesome as Lisa's does, but I'm trying. I decided to do something in the rainbow range. It was the 6th day of the month. It's Pride Month. I thought, hey, I'm going to use some rainbow colors. So I put down the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, and then I'm going to get a brush and try to activate them to give them, you see, I'm putting the red at the beginning and the white right at the end and the blue at the beginning, just a little stripe to try to get the kind of violety color in there. And this works pretty well. Those Stabilo Woodies are pretty awesome. So I'm um, blending them a little bit. You can see a little bit orange. But since I'm going to come in with a bunch of white and a little bit, it's not really going to matter. I think the only thing you really end up seeing in the end is some of the red because I didn't cover it up with something else where that red is. So you'll see. It's a neat card in the end. It just it didn't end up the way I started. Yeah, it didn't. Let me take a breath. It did not end up the way I thought it was going to when I started. There are all the words I meant to say. All right. So I have activated all of that and blended it, and I'm coming in with titanium white from Lucas. And I'm just going to put a little bit down. I'll end up putting more down, and I think I start this with my finger. Now, I think my intention here when I did that was that I was going to go over, especially the holes from the drywall joint tape, and it would just get the top of it, and the colors inside those little holes would show. That it doesn't work. No, I realized pretty quickly that I'm not, the dry brush technique like that is just not working. So I'm gonna play with it for a little while, and I don't even know why I decided to use I guess that's why I use my fingers, but I don't know why it took me so long to finally move to a brush, because I am eventually going to move to using my brush. So I'm getting this down. I have said before, if you're participating in ICAD, let me know. Leave your Instagram name below so I can check out what all you're making for the challenge. Or I don't think ICAD will be over. This is day 6. I'm gonna get this out hopefully first or second day of July maybe. So hopefully. All right. See, here I'm finally moving to the brush. I realized, yeah, that just wasn't gonna work. So I'm coming back in and just kind of getting down in those holes now, because whatever it was that I had wanted it to do, it was not doing. So there. And so you see that red really shows. You can see kind of the blue and kind of the yellow, but that red really pops out. And I'm surprised, I guess, with water activating the woodies, they weren't able to be activated with the um, white paint. I think if I hadn't activated them with water, the white paint would have, and we'd have pastel colors there, which is also very cool, but not what I was intending. So I pulled out my Amsterdam acrylic ink, and that is in light olive gray, or not gray, green, olive green light. And so I'm going to put a couple of drops of that down and spray it. And I think I'm going to put another color down, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe just this one. I really like this olive green. So I've wet that, and I'm just kind of moving that around. And y'all look, I really like how at the bottom, that left corner, it framed it up for me. Isn't that perfect? I was like, hey, look. Um, but then that leaves that white space there, so I still have the white coming in as for the mixed media prompt. So before it got too crazy, I went ahead and tried it. And I'm coming back in with, I think that is Broken China Distress Oxide, and my little contour makeup brush. It's a great art tool. I got it at the Dollar Tree. But I am just kind of brushing over some of those areas just to bring in another color besides the green and besides the white. And it's kind of neat. When I looked at this later, I was like, I don't remember how I got that blue in there. Did I add blue ink? And so when I was reviewing this to edit, I was like, oh yeah, that was smart. That's cool. So yeah, sometimes I surprise myself, y'all. All right, so I got that on there, and then I decided to go ahead and use that ink pad um to, to ink up the edges. Yeah, and because that distress ink does stay kind of wet for a little while, I go ahead and, I don't know, kind of move it around with that makeup contour brush, so that it'll spread it out and not be so wet. All right. Then I turned to my handy dandy Tim Holtz stickers, and that says something like "Go where your heart takes you," and I'm gonna stick that down here in just a second. Once I figure out where, it took me a minute to realize that putting on the white wasn't gonna make it pop. It really needed to be on the color, and then I'm going to just take a pencil and outline where that heart was I mentioned earlier, because that sentiment does say heart in it. And then that's going to be it for this card, y'all. It really, I collaged, and I don't know, it wasn't too much to it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're having a fabulous day and keep on crafting on. Thanks for watching. Bye.